Our existing food system is
to take their destiny into their own hands, to change the world.
Welcome to the Carburetor channel, where we are saving the world through dietary information and lifestyle modification. We do it by understanding society's matrix and then living more in accordance with nature instead. And I've got some big news for you today. There was this summit where Obama spoke. From the footage I got, it looks like a big event. It's international, but it didn't get much attention that I heard of from the mass media. Taking a look on CNN's website, they have one video on this summit, and it's 1 minute and 40 seconds. The clip is not about the food issue, but Reuters channel has some footage there. It looks like the media didn't even record this event. The only footage that I could find was recorded by someone in the audience, and the quality is pretty low here. But we don't care about that here. It's exciting news for the vegan movement. Not only will you want to watch this whole video, but you're going to want to share this. You're going to want everybody in the world to see it. And before you get comfortable, make sure you have something to eat. Maybe some popcorn or some bananas. Now that you are settled in, here is the beginning of the event.
I urge you all to take what you learn every day, to spread that knowledge that will make the future better, and we'll do it together. Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the International Capital of Culture, Food, and Food Innovation. New food production techniques, nutrition of the future, and the right to health, sustainable, for millions around the world. Our speaker remains the very embodiment of hope. He inspired millions of people, generations, to take their destiny into their own hands, to change the world, and to get involved, where our values in this vision is what bind us in humanity. The man that gives us hope, dreams, President Barack Obama.
Thanks so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please have a seat. Thank you. Good afternoon. In the United States, we have been able to bring our emissions down even as we grow our economy. The same is true in many parts of Europe. Our existing food system is, in fact, a significant contributor to climate change. Food production is the second leading driver of greenhouse gas emissions, second only to energy production. And if we don't change course, the World Bank predicts that by 2050, agriculture and land use change may account for as much as 70% of global greenhouse gas emissions.
In other words, we're in deep shit. Now at this point in Obama's appearance, he hasn't mentioned that word that environmentalists also don't want to use, a certain food. So after his speech, he sat down with another person to have a one-on-one discussion, and then we really got into the meat of the matter.
Although we've made real progress in becoming more efficient on the energy side, we are actually seeing a continuing increase in the emissions that are coming out of the agricultural sector. And a lot of that has to do with changing diets around the world. As people want to increase meat consumption, spiking the greenhouse emissions coming out of the agricultural sector.
But my bacon, though.
This offers a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs.
When I look at the food system, it's fundamentally it's one of the most inefficient systems of the great human systems, right? We're depleting our soil, and our water tables, our aquifers globally are running very low.
The issue is whether or not it's wrong to kill animals unnecessarily.
It's the second leading cause of greenhouse gas emissions, as you discussed, which is making it harder for us to grow food. We're wasting a third globally of what we produce in terms of resources. That's just incomprehensible amount of inefficient. You can never imagine like a gas company wasting a third of what they're pulling out of the ground, right?
So here they're just vaguely mentioning that food production takes up a lot of resources, but they're not getting to the pink elephant in the stadium here, and that there's a particular food that uses much more resources than all other foods.
The vast majority of what I heard was about energy, very little about food. Why do you think food hasn't been a bigger part of the focus when it comes to climate?
Well, part of it is that we haven't publicized in the past the impact of food production on greenhouse gas emissions, the connection between energy production and the idea of greenhouse gases.
So do you notice that he's trying to be real careful about the words that he's using, and the words that he doesn't want to use? I'm a lot like Obama. I do that same thing because I talk about veganism on my channel. More to the point, the lack of meat. For some reason, this has been a politicized issue. Climate change, diet. Why would people be dogmatic about those things? So they are going to get to the meat of the matter here. But what they don't ever get to, at least I didn't see it in this footage, why meat takes up so many more resources. Matter of fact, it takes 10 times the next one, which is grains. See, it takes 10 pounds of grain fed to the animals to produce 1 pound of meat. That, of course, a lot of the rest of the animals thrown away. To grow all those crops takes a lot of resources, including water. The water has to be pumped in, and it's pumped in using the same that's used for everything, and that's oil. And that produces the greenhouse effect, which is producing the climate change. And so far they've been talking about more efficient way of going about producing certain foods, when what would be really efficient and healthy would be to just stop eating this meat. As a matter of fact, it is a win-win-win. And it's time people spoke up and just said it.
People aren't as familiar with the impact of cows, right? Right? And methane. I mean, that's unless you're a farmer, and then you know what takes place there. So some of it is just lack of knowledge in the general public. Now, keep in mind, it took a long time to educate people around climate change, and we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So part of it is education. Food is a very emotional issue, especially here in Milan, right? I mean, food's important.
My bacon.
So even in our religion and in our art, food is important. Because food is so close to us and is part of our families and it's part of what we do every single day, people, I think, are more resistant to the idea of government or bureaucrats telling us how to eat, what to eat, how to grow, etc. Right? So some of it is, I think, that resistance. In Southeast Asia, in South Asia, in Africa, currently meat consumption is so low. The gap between meat consumption there and in the United States, for example, is as much as the energy use in those countries per capita and what it is in the United States. So no matter what, we are going to see an increase in meat consumption, just by virtue of more Indians, Chinese, Vietnamese, and others moving into middle-income territory.
Well, all these people getting out of poverty is not the only reason they're eating more meat. Here's where things get more into politics, because they get into business. All those Asians, etc., have their own food habits, well, customs. And it's not like they've been craving for meat when they, I have no meat craving. I haven't had any for 22 years. What's going on is they're being tempted, actually controlled by meat companies. All the American fast food companies, with their capitalistic ideals and their greed for more and more money, they're going over to Asia, where they now see a new opportunity to corrupt 1 billion or so people and make them as sick as Americans are.
That doesn't mean that we can't teach, you and me to have a smaller stake
Right.
for our own health. It doesn't mean that we can't make progress in educating the advanced world about the need to reduce, just for dietary reasons, the amount of meat that we can consume at any given meal, particularly if it's wasted.
Yeah.
But what it does mean is that we're also going to have to find ways to produce protein
Right.
in a more efficient way, and that's where some of the technologies that come in.
I don't know what he's talking about. I assume he's repeating the protein myth. But protein is not an issue for anyone. Well, it's never been an issue for the Asians, and it's not going to be.
We have to lead the way.
Yeah.
Because the challenge for climate change has always been that the emerging countries, poor countries with large populations, they look and they say, those of you in the West, you developed yourselves using dirty energy, and now you are very wealthy, and each person in your country has this huge carbon footprint. You all have big cars, and you have air conditioning, and you have electricity, and you lose all these electronics, and you are eating steaks every day. And now you want to tell us that we should not develop because we need to save the planet. That's not fair. So what we've said is everybody has to do something.
As you may know, this issue is split down the middle. Obama is a Democrat, and since it's about caring about the environment and people, it's a liberal thing. Now let's hear the position on the other side. I found this conservative channel on YouTube that addressed Obama's speech here.
Barack Obama made an appearance at the Global Food Innovation Summit in Milan this week to tell the world's little people that they need to cut back their lifestyle in order to stop global warming. You are the problem. Your lifestyle is too elaborate.
Nobody can sit on the sidelines if we want to deal with this issue in an effective way.
Yes.
Now, I make it a point to increase my carbon footprint every day because I think global warming is a freaking scam. All right? Now, the former president used his speech to tell attendees that people need to be taught to have smaller steak and linked meat eating to income inequality and the refugee crisis. Wow. This is only going to get worse, folks. Listen to the fear from Obama. Bow down, submit, change your life. Because these people are out of food. Maybe there's a ton of other reasons, Obama. Oh, I want this guy to shut the F up!
Maybe the only reason the media is not covering this summit is because they're so busy trying to report all the daily Trump catastrophes. Speaking of which, if Trump wasn't so consumed with other issues going on, he might also make a comment about this, or maybe a tweet. But we can only just imagine what his position might be on this.
With family, friends, anytime. Trump steaks are aged to perfection. You'll absolutely love Trump steaks. Treat yourself to the very, very best life has to offer. Believe me, I understand steaks. Believe me.
I mean, imagine what Trump would say if he actually had a record like this. Instead of selling steaks.
Thanks for watching this video. I hope it inspired you and gave you hope that we definitely can make a difference. But the word has to get out with this. A lot of people don't know this happened. I'm not surprised I never heard about this big event. The media just doesn't care. I guess most people would not find this exciting, but I do. This message has to get out. So please share this video, get on social media, Reddit. Now, Google Plus is a good place because if you have a Gmail account, you already have an account with Google Plus, everything Google. And I'm big over there. Check out my channel, the link is in the description below. That'll take you over there. Your account is already there. Actually, right below this video, you got the options for sharing. You just click the Google Plus icon and it just does it all for you. Also, it's helpful to give thumbs up or thumbs down and post a comment. And I'll see you down below. Take that, neocons. You conservative fat asses can kiss Obama's butt. Eat Obama's words for dinner, because we're not going to shut up.